It's Wednesday, May 14th. It's something like the 121st or 122nd day of the legislative session. Who's counting? Who's keeping track? It's all crazy. One day's blurring into another here. Wanted to give you a quick legislative update. And the tone around the Capitol tends to change around this time. There's a bit of a vibe shift. A lot of the committee hearings are all wrapping up now because a lot of bills, if they haven't already been heard in committee, they're not going anywhere anymore. There's just not time. So the focus tends to shift away from the Capitol extension and the committee rooms where I am now. I was here for one of the final hearings of the House Agricultural Committee, and it goes back into the main Capitol building and the two chambers, the House and the Senate, particularly the House right now, which is swamped with legislation. Its business is slow to a crawl. There's certain parliamentary and political games that tend to get played where one side tries to slow things down so bills they don't like pass, and the other side's trying to speed up and get as much legislation on the books as possible. And both bad and good legislation gets caught up in that sometimes. That can be really frustrating, both for people who are unfamiliar with the way things work here in the Texas legislature, and honestly for seasoned pros who are here all the time as well. You might have seen me do a video yesterday about our food truck freedom bill, House Bill 2844 by Representative Landgraf, a really good bill that will create a single statewide permit for food trucks. It's still languishing midway down the House calendar today. This is the third day in a row it's rolled over. The House hasn't gotten to it. Business slows down. They call points of order on bills. That stops everything for about 15 minutes while the parliamentarians decide whether the point of order is valid, whether the bill can still be heard or not. And you multiply that by all the bills, and there's something like 30 pages on today's calendar. I think our bill is on about page 20. So again, I'm very worried that the bill isn't going to get heard today, and tomorrow is the absolute last opportunity when that can happen. I'm doing everything I can here, talking to anyone who I haven't already bored to tears, talking about IJ's agenda of economic liberty, property rights, because it's not just a food truck bill. We've been very active on housing and zoning reform this session, other occupational licensing issues, and then cottage food freedom issues too. So there's been a lot going on across the spectrum. Also some criminal justice stuff that unfortunately doesn't seem to have gained much traction this session. Often these things are multi-session efforts, and that's something that we have to remind ourselves when good legislation dies or gets stalled or fails for reasons that have nothing to do with its merits, but just because of political expediency. It can be really frustrating, particularly when you know you're carrying the hopes of a lot of people, Texans, ordinary people who will benefit from the legislation, whose lives it will make easier, and you have to tell them that it's just not advancing this session, and because it's a part-time legislature, you have to wait 2 years so we can try again. That's incredibly frustrating, and it happens sometimes, and because we work on so many bills, it's inevitable that's going to happen to some of our bills. I'm doing everything I can with our remaining legislation to get it through all of the legislative steps. Particularly food trucks has been my priority this week. It's been a fun one to work on. Everyone instinctively understands it. It's not like some of the more arcane bills around zoning and things like that, where you already have to explain to people. Everyone understands food trucks. Most people like them, and most people think it's unfair that they need duplicate permits in every city where they want to operate. So it's easy to explain, and everyone at the legislature I've talked to likes it, the staffers, the members. But it's just a question now, will it be heard in time, or will the clock run out? I'm really hoping it doesn't. We've still got a couple days. It's a heavy lift at this point, but I'm very aware I'm carrying the hopes of all the food truck owners who came to testify in the committee hearing. They gave really powerful testimony about just the burden the current licensing scheme places on them, how it's put some of their friends out of business, how it's stopped them from expanding and growing and living the Texas miracle. So I really want to get it done. I will be here until the bitter end. There's an important deadline Thursday. If bills don't get heard in the House and passed on second reading tomorrow, then that's it. There's no more hope unless we can do some weird maneuvering things. But realistically, that's going to be it for this session. So I'm pulling out all the stops. I'll let you know how it goes. This is Sam Hooper with the Institute for Justice, checking in from the Texas Capitol.